All right, good morning, everybody. Mr. Kelly, there's a seat right in front for you. Come on, man. Good morning, good morning. Couple orders of business real quick before we get going. If you need a Spanish interpreter headset, we have the headsets back in the corner back here. So, necesita una headset, este aquí. All right, so that's thing one. Thing two is, this is like the amazing jazz combo of all time. Under the direction of Mary Jo West, the great Mary Jo West. And yeah, I don't know about y'all, but I'd like to hear another song. So will you play one more for us? One more, all right. Let's let them play one more.
On drum.
Woo!
Jack Crow on guitar. You're next, sorry, Casey. Casey Dimmick. Nate Hill on piano.
So, Mary Jo, I don't know if you saw our happy accident or not, but we put these dancing icons in our presentation, and they actually are like to the beat of the jazz band. That was so lucky. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Meridian High School Jazz Combo. Woo! Thank you, Nate the Great. All right, well, welcome back. Happy New Year, everybody. Yeah. Thank you. I believe that was Chameleon, right? Yes, that was awesome. So thank you for playing that. Good morning, and thank you all for being here, and Happy New Year. It really is the beginning of a new year, a new day, and I would say, as I say to you every year, this is my favorite day of the year. And it's my oh, there's Casey Mako. I was wondering where you were. I don't have a timekeeper today. And will you take it? Yeah, will you do the thing again? Okay, good. Because I don't know what the over-under is, but I hear there might be some money on it. So if you give me the heads up and you've taken the under, I'll know. Anyway, this is my favorite day of the year. And the reason that it's my favorite day of the year is because one of the things that I love the most about our school system is the collegiality, the camaraderie, the community, the fact that when we come together, it is like Old Home Week. We laugh, we have joy, and we get a chance to see each other and just reconnect. So thank you all for being here, as though you had any say in it since you're on contract, but really appreciate you being here. So let me give it up to all of you for being here today. I think, as everyone knows, the convocation this year's cadence is just slightly different than it has been in the past, in that this first day will be a kickoff for me, and I will say brief, and you all will laugh. That is your cue to say it. And then tomorrow, we have another day of learning, but the idea to break it in two and to shorten it up was to provide more time for all of you to be in your classrooms and out and about doing the things that you need to do to be ready. So I want to give the credit to all of you for letting us know that you really wanted to have more time, and then give credit to the CIA team and your principals for advocating on your behalf. So we'll get you out of here after part of today and after part of tomorrow. So with that, we have a couple of special guests I'd like to introduce that are here this morning. We have our Vice Chair of the School Board, Kathleen Tice. Kathleen, welcome. And we have School Board Member Bethany Henderson, who is here as well. And so thank you both for being here. We also have some other guests that I want to recognize. We have Nick Benton from the Falls Church News Press. Welcome, Nick. So be on your best behavior, watch what you say. We've got a newsman in the house, And then there are some people that I want to thank. And first and foremost, I want to thank Cindy and Richard for putting out, and the food services team for putting out such a nice continental breakfast this morning. If you all would stand to be recognized, we would appreciate that. Food services, please stand up. Food services, please stand up. All right, a couple of them standing. Thank you, thank you. Also want to take a second in the back to thank Jamie Sample for helping us with the sound this morning. Jamie, can I tell your story? So I told a similar story, I think this time last year. I had just gotten a new puppy. Jamie just got a new puppy. And so she says she's up every hour on the hour. So the fact that she's here and running our sound this morning is pretty special. Thank you, Jamie, for that. We really appreciate you. Michael Timpane up in the booth is here and recording for FCC TV. Thank you, Michael, for doing that. Yes. Also want to thank, if you haven't, and I think everybody in here has been through your buildings last week on Thursday and Friday. Some of you have been here longer than that. But the reason that your buildings are so clean and so beautiful is because your custodial teams worked really hard this summer to make sure that that happened. So our custodial teams, if you're here, would you please stand and be recognized? I think everybody here knows that we had summer school this summer. And one of the really unique and interesting things about us is that we provide transportation to our summer school kids. So our transportation team is working throughout the summer, offering ESY to many of our students with special needs, but also offering other opportunities for kids to take summer programs. So our transportation team deserves a clap too. So transportation, if you'd stand up, just want to thank you. Nobody could see you all the way in the back, but I saw you. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. This microphone is working. Our technology is working. Hopefully your technology is working in your classrooms. We know there have been some hiccups with PowerSchool, but we're working through those. But the fact that you can get to your technology is a consequence of the IT team. So IT, would you please stand up and be recognized? We appreciate you very much. Stand up. Come on. There we go. Another group that worked hard this summer to make sure that all of our kids had care was our daycare group. Our daycare was in full swing again this summer as usual. So daycare, we want to thank you for your incredible work this summer. So please stand up, daycare. Where are you? There they are. We have, if you're new to Falls Church City Public Schools, raise your hand. Let's give them a round of applause first. Thank you for joining our family, and thank you for being part of us, our incredible community of educators here in the City of Falls Church. And part of the reason you're here is because you made your way through HR. So HR team, where are you? Stand up and be recognized. There they are in the back. But the best part about being hired to the City of Falls Church is you get paid. So payroll and budget, would you stand up, please, and be recognized? I'm gonna linger here just for a second because I want everybody to turn around. Ashley, keep standing up. That is our payroll department. It's the happiest day of the week when I see Ashley sitting at her desk. I'm like, oh, we might be running payroll today. I like that. Let's do it. This summer we had a lot of people writing curriculum. We had a lot of people working on units of study. We had a ton of people updating standards, and our CIA team really did a crack job getting stuff ready for our new implementation of the science of reading, and a variety of other things, aligning math standards and assessments. And I just want to thank the CIA team for their work this summer. So CIA, would you please stand up as well? All right, and last group I'm gonna mention, just to make sure I get everybody. Everybody who worked 12 months this year, would you please stand up? 12-monthers. Thank you all so much for your incredible work. Oh, I found a quarter. I wonder what I should do with this quarter. What? Aldi? Somebody said Aldi. That's pretty funny. How much could I get at a quarter with a quarter at Aldi? Wait, what? Oh, it pays for a cart? Sorry, I'm a Harris Teeter guy. I got an idea though. What if we played a round of heads or tails? All right, so here's how it's going to work. For those of you that were with us about 5 years ago, you remember. And I think, Mary Manzione won rock, scissors, paper. Who won heads or tails? Do we remember? Who was it? Becky Creed won heads or tails. So the reigning champ of heads or tails is here. All right, here's how it works. We're going to play heads or tails, and in a minute, we're all going to stand up. This is heads, This is tails, okay? And so I'm going to ask you to declare heads or tails, and then I'm going to flip. You're going to pick a partner, right? And then I'm going to flip the coin, and if you're right, you keep standing, but if you didn't get it right, you sit. And at the end, we might have a little something for the winner. So, any questions for me before I ask you to stand up? It'll be very self-evident how this works. All right, so stand up. Find a partner. Huh? Oh, you don't need a partner. No, sorry. That's rock, scissors, paper. No partner. All right, heads or tails? Put them up. All right. Adam, are you a tails guy or a heads guy? Adam's going like this. Heads or tails, Adam? All right, here we go. All right, it is heads. All right. If you're a heads, keep standing. If you're a tail, sit down. All right, heads or tails? All right, here we go. Tails. All right, we got a few still standing. All right, heads or tails? Tails. All right, who else still standing? Let's see. All right, heads or tails? Whoop. Heads. Ooh. I think everybody picked heads on that one. All right, heads or tails? Here we go. Tails. All right, who's left? All right, if you're left, come down in front. Oh, we got Judy, we got Sarah. All right, we got a few. All right, are you ready? All right, heads or tails? Tails. Oh! All right, heads or tails? You got to. Oh, you're both going tails. I don't know how this works. Well, it's tails. Oh! Congratulations. Were you both tails, though? I feel like I forced you into a decision. All right. You okay with that? We'll just keep playing? All right.
Both go for the bronze?
Yeah, right. You could share the bronze. That's right. All right. Heads or tails? Okay. That's tails. All right. We'll play again until we have a winner. This is like a high jump. All right. Here we go. All right. We got one heads, one tails. All right. Heads it is. Congratulations. Welcome. This is
Speech therapist, by the way.
yes. Tell everybody your name.
I'm Maria Springer. We got 2 years running for the speech team.
And Maria is the speech language pathologist, and today she's got a really nice gift card here from Godfrey's. So enjoy. Let me take a second and say where that gift certificate came from. We always want to thank our Ed Foundation, Suzanne Hladky, our executive director. Thank you, Suzanne. Mary Asel, the president of the Ed Foundation. Thank you, Mary. And tomorrow, as part of our convocation second half, we're going to have a chance to hear from Mary and from Suzanne and hear a little bit about the foundation. But just as a preview, one of the things you just need to know about the Ed Foundation is that they pump hundreds of thousands of dollars into our school system every several years to allow us to do things that our budget might not be able to sustain, or things that are super creative. And so as you're out and about, where's Kenny George? Kenny, where are you? There's Kenny. Kenny's like the lotto winner of the Ed Foundation. Kenny, I don't know how much money you've gotten from the Ed Foundation, but you of all people, like if you have a question about how to I'm gonna sell you out here just a little bit, sorry. But if you have questions about how to access money from the Ed Foundation, talk to Kenny George, because this man knows how to do it really well. So thank you to the Ed Foundation for your incredible, incredible support of our schools. All right. Congratulations on the heads or tails victory. All right, you knew it was coming. It always comes. This is the 8th convocation I've had. You've watched them grow up with me. And let's see if it's going to work. I can't walk too far. All right, here we go. Come on, baby. There we go. Whoops, I skipped right over them. All right, here they are. I have to brag again about these folks. Upper left, my son Brylan. Dr. Z, I will be in Philly a few times this year. That's right. And I will hit Reading Market. And Kristen, I will bring you home some cheese from Reading Market. But that is my son Brylan. He plays football at Temple and sometimes goes to school. But he is, you're not going to believe this. You met my son when he was in middle school, for those of you that have been here with me since I started. He's a senior in college. He might even graduate. It looks like he's on track to graduate. He's got, he'll walk this spring, and he's got 2 classes he's got to take there in the summer. But I just want to remind you, this is a kid who really didn't like school at all. And it was people and teachers and staff like you that fundamentally changed the trajectory of his life. And I am forever grateful for the educators in his life, but I know he would have thrived here as well. Lower left, some of you know her, some of you might not love her, but we do. That's Betsy. Betsy is a sophomore here at Meridian, holding our dog. As you remember last year, we got a Bernedoodle and became Falls Church by getting the Bernedoodle. But Betsy had a really great summer reading books. For those of you that don't know, she is the ultimate introvert, and this summer read 27 books. And that's what she does. I have to thank you for clapping, because I know some of you had her too. But I remember a couple of years ago, we got an email message from a teacher saying that none of her homework was coming in. And I just have to tell this quick story. And so we went to her and we said, "Why aren't you getting your homework in?" And she said, "Well, I'm a little busy reading." And we and how do you like deal with that? It's like, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to read. But I don't know how many of you know this story or not, but a couple of years ago, well, last year, the new Percy Jackson came out. Those of you that follow the Percy Jackson series know that the new Percy Jackson came out last year. And so this was the time that the new Percy Jackson had come out, and she said, "Will you take me to Barnes & Noble so I can get the new Percy Jackson book?" And I said, "Yeah." We went down to Barnes & Noble. We walked into Barnes & Noble. The woman at Barnes & Noble said, just looked at her, like you can look at her and you know, and she's like, "Oh, I know why you're here. The Percy Jackson book is in the back." So she walks to the Percy Jackson book and she gets it, and we go home and it's sitting on the counter, and we said, "Oh, are you going to read your new Percy Jackson book?" And she said, "No, this is the 10th book in the series, or 11th book, whatever it was." She said, "I think I want to go back and read all of the books that came before it again before I read the new one." I'm like, we bought this on the day it came out. Like, couldn't we have waited? Anyway, bottom line is she churned through all of those books again, and that was the time we were getting messages from her math teacher saying, "We wish Betsy would turn in some homework." Thank you, Jen. Anyway, so now you know, she was reading books instead of doing math. But anyway, she's great. My partner Bethany, George Mason University, I'm proud to say that she is now the president of the AAUP for the national, it's going to sound funny, but she's the AAUP president for the national local of university professors. And this year she attended the AFT conference in Houston and did a lot of work on behalf of the association at George Mason, and was there to help influence policy for educators at the post-secondary level, and made a lot of really good friends in pre-K-12 as well. So we are very excited about her work with the union, and look forward to supporting that. Then there's Emily. I think you all know that Emily's the brains of the organization in our family, keeps us on track, tells us everything we need to know. I may have shared this same picture last year, but this was the white coat ceremony. She's starting her second year of medical school, also at Temple University, and she will be there for actually 5 more years after this, because she decided to get her PhD at the same time that she gets her medical degree. So she'll come out as what they call a double doc. And then that's Raina. And Will, where are you? Will Stewart. Our dogs have met, I think, at the dog park. That's Raina. And then this picture in the middle, this is our standard picture on the Saturday we're leaving Sandbridge. You've seen this picture now for 7 years. And these kids have gotten so big, and it's so amazing. But this was taken 2 Saturdays ago. So lots of joy in our family. All right, so thank you for indulging me with that. Yes? I'll tell them you clap for them. They'll be excited. All right, so one of the things that we did this summer when we wrapped up the year was we felt like it was really important to kind of go back and think about what were some of the accomplishments that we achieved this past year, so that we can understand fully what we did and then also begin to build on those. And so we started to generate a list of things that we did. And so you'll see, and we categorize them under the strategic plan. So these are wellness, equity, and belonging activities. We also have some that came under IB, teaching and learning, communications and engagement. But wait, there's more. Investing in our people, resource management and continuous improvement. And I say we, and I really mean we, did all of these things together. I look up there, and the first thing that pops up is RC training for all of our pre-K through 5 teachers, right? That wasn't me, that was you. And the work, I just want to, I'm sorry to do this to you, and if you had the over, you might be in good shape. But like, if you look at these accomplishments, 1, 2, 3, there's a reason, come on, 3, where are you? Whoops. There's a reason, maybe I should do this somewhere else. There's a reason you were tired at the end of last year. There was a reason you needed a break, right? Because we did extremely large quantities of work. And so for that, I just want to say thank you and give you a round of applause for your incredible work. All right, there are 2 things in the presentation today that someone is trying to hip me up, and not hip me up, but turn me into a hipster. I don't even know what the right terminology is. I'm like the least hipster, except I will say this. I'm very proud of this, by the way. You can take it for what it's worth. In the Korean culture, one of the highest forms of admiration, one of the highest forms of respect is anytime you are going to do a presentation, you get a new suit, and I just want you to know I got a new suit for you today. But they're trying to hip me up a little bit, and so one of the things we're doing is FCCPS Wrapped. Anybody Spotify fans here? Okay, all right. I don't know about Spotify, but somebody said that they do these wrap things. So anyway, I want to just share some information with you that I think is really important as we think about last year and as we sort of begin to I can't get this far away, can I? As we kick into this year. First is, thank you to the Ed Foundation again, $271,000 of support to the City of Falls Church Schools for the work that we do. These are just a few things to capture. We've got these restorative practices to get together. Sarah, where are you? Restorative practices. There she is. Stand up. Sarah's going to be taking on a big charge for us this year and really helping us build more restorative practices across the division, and we're really grateful for that. All of our staff got anti-hate training. But one of the things that we did last year that I think was really important to me and touched my heart in a way that I think was really unique was that we welcomed back Marion Costner Selby to the City of Falls Church Schools. I think everybody at this point probably knows who Marion Costner Selby is, but for those of you that are new, you might not. She was the first African American person that was ever integrated into the City of Falls Church schools many, many years ago. Marion still lives in the area, and last year she came to speak at one of our events, and since then we've continued to build a relationship with Marion to the extent that we are in the midst of creating the Marion Costner Selby Peace Garden on the 5th floor here at Meridian High School. So when you go all the way up to the 5th floor and you know the outdoor space, if you've been up here, that will be the Marion Costner Peace Garden. There will be a mural of Marion. There's going to be some cutouts of her silhouette. There's going to be some other things that are going to be there, but it's really going to be in many ways an homage to her and to her place rightfully in the City of Falls Church schools. We also did a lot with resource management and continuous improvement. The IT team, we were sort of talking about this morning, 4,280 different touches of machines, phones, iPads, classroom displays here in the City of Falls Church schools, and almost all of them work almost all of the time. But yeah, let's clap that up, right? But many of them are sitting right here, and that's amazing to me. We also served to our great folks in the Department of Food Services 203,305 meals last year. That's a ton of food. And lastly, in a 2.2 square mile range, we drove over 21,000 miles on our buses, and that's really amazing. And where are our finance people in the room? Where are our athletic folks in the room? One of the things we were able to do is we took 842 fewer trips to the bank because we now have remote deposit, and that was huge for us. So that's resource management, continuous improvement. A couple other things. Under IB Infused Teaching and Learning, we of course have 100% of our staff trained at Mount Daniel and Orton Gillingham training. We had where's Sean? 2 Cappies, 1 for Frankenstein. Sean, where are you? Let's recognize. Huh?
I'm running your foul spot.
Oh, hey! Sean, congratulations for your incredible work with Frankenstein. Let me just say this. I said it before on Twitter, and I'll say it again. I've been in this work for 33 years. This is my 33rd year, and it is far and away the best public school, private school, high school production I've ever seen in my entire life. So well deserved on your accomplishments. I shouldn't have looked at you. Now I can't see anything. 100% on-time graduation rate, and that includes both special ed and regular ed. So what a joy to all of you. Incredible work. Then we get into, communications and engagement, which we just blew by. So in case you didn't know about communications and engagement, we asked all of our staff in all of our schools, what's the number one thing parents call about? And the answer is today a half day? Right? So is today an early release day? So we're going to put together a graphic that will go out to all parents that will suggest when all of our half days are. But we had multiple coffees and principal coffees and teas. We had 2 community watch parties. If any of you went to Claire and Don's for those were a lot of fun. And want to thank the Taxes and David for hosting us there. 180 morning announcements, thanks to the morning announcements team, and 36 messages from Mustang Alley. Then we get to investing in our people. And this is where I want to thank Pam Mahoney and give her a shout out. Pam, where are you? Stand up, Pam. I don't know if everybody here knows, but Pam and her team did something very special, and I will just say that I'm proud to have been part of it, and that was to develop the first collective bargaining agreement for the City of Falls Church schools. And because of that, there are a lot of things that will be positive for all of us as we move forward, starting with adding longevity steps to our salary scales to ensure that people who get to the end of those scales have an opportunity to work several more years if they want without taking a hit and just being stuck with the COLA every year. The next is we now offer a 1% match. So if you participate in a 403B or a 457 plan and you want to if you want to start and you put at least 1% of your salary in there, we will match that 1% as an organization. So those are just a couple of things that I think really were positive that came out of our collective bargaining. We do have 5 programs currently that we also cover the cost of. And that is at UVA, Virginia Tech, Northern Virginia Community College, Welcoming Falls Church, and the English Empowerment Center. We have a lot of folks who have done a lot of things to continue to grow their professional strengths and their professional work, and we're very appreciative of that. And some of our staff are actually in the pipeline to become teachers, and I'm really proud that we were able to put that pipeline together. And then just last week on Wednesday, or maybe it was a week and a half ago, in case you missed it, the City of Falls Church was named the healthiest community in America. And they narrowed it down to 20 communities across the United States to determine who was the healthiest, and Falls Church came to the top. In Elliot Davis's article in U.S. News and World Reports, one of the lines says, "Education and walkability helped the D.C. suburb of Falls Church rise to number 1 in the U.S. News 2024 Healthiest Community Rankings. If it had not been for you, every single one of you in this room, we would have not achieved that ranking in U.S. News and World Reports, and you should be really proud of that. And on top of that, hang on one second, because on top of that, within the 10 categories that they were looking at, from infrastructure, nutrition, economy, population health, the number 1 educational system of those 10 that were in the pipe as the top was Falls Church City Public Schools. Now you can all right. So your accolades are there. You guys have done incredible work. And at this point in time, I'd like to talk a little bit more about it, but I want to turn the floor over to Kim Headings. And I don't know, how many of you have had a chance to meet Kim yet? All right, so some of our new folks have had a chance to meet Kim, but let me just tell you a little bit about Kim Headings. She's our new director of accountability and assessment. And Kim came to us right after Peter Weilandman, so she's taking Peter Weilandman's place, retired. And she has stepped into this role and has done extraordinary work already to sort of figure out some things and untangle some things that weren't bad, but maybe could become more efficient. But she's also been extremely helpful working with teams, working with principals. So if you're finding a need to work with somebody about numbers, she is your person. So help me welcome Kim Headings, and I'm going to turn it over to her for a few minutes.
Good morning. Thank you, everyone. You okay? Good? Good? Okay, how about now? Okay. Too much. Okay, thank you, Peter, for that wonderful introduction. For those of you I haven't had an opportunity to meet yet, I look forward to meeting you at some point in the coming weeks as we kick off the upcoming year. And I know Dr. Noonan was up here saying that this is his favorite day of the year. I think I have the best part of this morning because I just get to stand up here and brag about even more of the wonderful things that you all have done and the accomplishments of our students in the last year as well. So to kick us off, some accreditation highlights. Take a look at these numbers up here on the screen. This is pretty amazing. I'm just gonna pop this out so I can step back a bit and see better. All right, so Look at these numbers for our division. We have Oak Street, Mary Ellen Henderson, and Meridian. All of these are our English and math pass rates on SOLs for the previous year. All of our schools are fully accredited with level 1 indicators. For those of you that are familiar with the VDOE School Quality Profiles page, that means everything is showing up in green because we're crushing it. All of our indicators here are 94% and above. That is a huge accomplishment for the division and a large contributor to what Dr. Noonan just shared about us being ranked #1 in education, and part of why we were named the healthiest city. Yeah. A few more specific highlights contributing to those accreditation indicators. The science pass rate at Oak Street increased by 8% in 2024 compared to the previous year. That is outstanding. History here at Meridian went up by 6%. Shout out to Mount Daniel. We know they don't give SOLs at Mount Daniel for our K-2 students, but a 9% decrease in chronic absenteeism rates. That is a testament to the hard work by the staff at Mount Daniel, reaching out to families, getting kids into our buildings. And at Henderson, check this out, the highest ever pass rates in English and math, literally since accreditation became a thing and the state started publishing data. To continue bragging about how amazing we are as a division, I don't know how many of you may have seen the niche rankings that came out, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. Falls Church City Schools, as a division, we were ranked the #1 school district in Virginia, #2 in the entire DC area, and in Virginia, the #3 best place to teach out of the entire state. You are all a part of what's got us there and what's going to keep us in those top 3 rankings in all of those categories. That's amazing work. I know many of you are already familiar with the U.S. News and World Report's rankings that come out every year. Of over 300 high schools in the state of Virginia that were ranked by U.S. News and World Reports, Meridian came in #7 overall and ranked #2 in college readiness out of those 300 plus high schools. Clap it up for Meridian. Yeah. I told you, I have the best part of today. I just get to stand up here and tell you how amazing you are. A couple of IB program highlights from here at Meridian. This spring, we had 276 students participating in IB exams. That was up 30 from last year. 941 IB exams taken in 35 subjects. 92% of our diploma candidates earned the diploma. We exceeded global scores in 12 subjects. And as you all know, IB English for All here at Meridian, it's amazing. We had a 93% rate of students earning passing scores out of all of our students who were taking IB English. Huge accomplishments. Looking ahead to the coming year, we have 74 anticipated diploma candidates. So our IB program is growing. We're becoming more and more inclusive. 17 anticipated career-related candidates for the class of 2025. And look at that number anticipated for 2026. We're looking at 28 candidates for that career-related program. So huge growth in the career program as well. Next door over at Henderson, I just emailed Mr. Pickering about this last week as I was crunching some more numbers. Our English learner SOL adjusted pass rates were 100% in every subject area at Henderson. And Henderson gets to brag about 100% pass rates in Algebra 1 and Geometry for the 3rd consecutive year. That is amazing. Whoops, too far. Over at Oak Street, Pass rates increased in reading, math, and science. Look at that increase in science that I mentioned earlier, going from 76% up to 84%. Those increases in math and reading as well, history holding strong. So great work at Oak Street in this past year as well, helping more of our kids finding out what they need, learning our students by name and by need, so we can better support them and help everyone achieve those high standards. And just because Mount Daniel doesn't give SOLs doesn't mean that we don't have data to brag about them as well. So this is taken from PALS data, which is used to measure literacy. This is a comparison of our Mount Daniel students versus the state of Virginia. So in every grade, K to 2, our Mount Daniel students are meeting those literacy benchmarks at a higher rate than the rest of the students in Virginia. Yeah, And while it's great to stand up here and rattle off all of these numbers and our accreditation ratings and SOL pass rates and PALS data and chronic absenteeism, that's all great. That's the world I live in every day. But FCCPS is so much more than just the numbers. So I also wanted to take a couple of minutes to share some highlights of non-numerical data that still shows some of the great achievements and accomplishments and highlights from the past year. So starting with Meridian again, a shout out to the robotics team and everyone who was involved in supporting that. Meridian hosted their first home robotics competition, and in addition to successfully hosting and pulling off the massive weekend event, which I know was a huge lift, and the team's outstanding performance, they also won the Sustainability Award in that competition as well. So great work by Team 1418 over here at Meridian and everyone who was involved in that. MYP personal projects, I'm sure many of you had a chance to be involved either helping students or seeing their presentations. And then the Sustainability and Service Awards, we had many students here at Meridian who were recognized for their extensive community service hours. So lots of great things happening here at Meridian that aren't measured by IB test results or SOL test results. Moving next door to Henderson, I know there was a shout out earlier for the Cappies over here at Meridian. We can't forget about the Greek Myths play over at Henderson. Almost 100 students participated in that production. And then we have a snapshot here from the Community Service Project Showcase. Mr. Pickering there learning about a community service project. In addition, we had Henderson students participating in the If I Were Mayor contest, and those students swept the top spots in that competition in the entire state. So branching out from those standardized test results that we always talk about, this is another huge accomplishment for our students at Henderson. Sticking with our Olympics theme, I also wanted to highlight the participants of the National French Contest. So between Meridian and Henderson, there were 71 participants, and you can see our medal count there. We had 1 gold medal winner, 4 silvers, 7 bronzes, and 19 honorable mentions. So 31 of our 71 participants were recognized in that contest. All right, where are my Oak Street people? Golden Pencil winners. Had to throw that in there to celebrate the Oak Street victory at our Hippo Tiger Giraffe games this year. Those of you that are new to Oak Street, hopefully you'll get a chance to see the Golden Pencil, maybe even touch it over there at Oak Street. The Sea Creature Showcase was one of the first activities that I had a chance to go see over at Oak Street after I came on board here back in the spring. And I had such a great time seeing the students and hearing them talk about their sea creatures, seeing what they put together. It was an amazing showcase of their work. Geo Island was another one of those highlights from Oak Street this spring, the PYP Unit of Inquiry, how we express ourselves. Those of you who aren't familiar, the students create their own mini civilization on an island, and it's a multidisciplinary project where they're thinking about science and technology. What's an invention that people of their island might need, and how are they going to travel around on the island? What jobs might people have? Every aspect of a mini civilization. And it's just so fun to see our students share what they're learning in these showcases. At Mount Daniel, Market Day, where students are acting as entrepreneurs, coming up with their own goods or services that they're going to sell. The Wax Museum was another first and early fun visit for me when I came on board. So students chose someone from history and had their presentations. You can see some of our little Mount Daniel friends really got dressed up and in character for their presentations. And we can't forget about JTP. Here we have examples of some of our students, our youngest learners, using iPads to communicate with the world. These are some nonverbal students that otherwise wouldn't be able to communicate with the people and the world around them. So this was a tremendous step forward for these students and a great, great addition over at JTP for these students. And I decided to wrap it up with some pictures of Family Fun Day from JTP because I think it's just the perfect visual to end on because it highlights the importance of family here in FCCPS. And I am so excited and honored to have become a part of the family, and I look forward to seeing and learning more about all of the achievements and awards and honors across the division in the coming year. And I'm excited for the next opportunity to pull all of that together and be able to keep bragging about how wonderful Falls Church City is and why we deserve all of those super high rankings in U.S. News and World Reports and Niche and everything else that's been highlighted along the way. So give yourselves a round of applause for all of your hard work. And I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Noonan.
Thank you, Kim. Yay, Kim. Let's clap it up for Kim one more time. Great job. All right. So where are we here? So one of the things that we want to go to next is to think about what are we going to focus on for the coming year as part of our strategic plan. And so I'm going to go back and do that again in case you missed it. Ooh. Anybody know what it is? IB and communication. All right, so IB and communication are going to be our two areas of emphasis for this coming year, and we're going to kind of weave those together. We have always said, well, not always, but since we put together our strategic plan several years ago, one of the categories was IB-infused teaching and learning. We've had some really good conversations about IB, and we've been talking about the word infused, and words matter, right? So this is, you can think about however you want to think about what's in that glass. I'm going to say it's tea, all right? So one of the things that I think about when I think about tea is that sometimes tea is infused with different flavors, whether it's fruit or herbs or whatever. But at the base, it's tea, right? And so one thing we sort of wrestled with is, are we just IB, or are we infusing IB into what we do? Now, it's nuancy, I know, but it was important to the people that we were having conversations with this summer. So we've removed the term infused, and now are just, in the strategic plan, we're about IB teaching and learning. It is who we are, it's everything that we do, and this is where they're going to hit me up a little bit more. It is our tea, right? So somebody said, spill the tea. I didn't know what that meant until the other day, but IB, I do now know what it means. But IB teaching and learning is our tea. That is the base of what we do. That's what we offer to every single kid that walks into our school system, and it's really important to who we are. So this year, we're going to spend a lot of time trying to continue to demystify the International Baccalaureate program for our community to make it understandable for all of our stakeholders, our employees, our families, and our students, and work together to ensure that all of us on Team FCCPS understand their role in the IB continuum. Because there still is this demystifying about IB being just an 11th and 12th grade program. And it's really not. It's much more than that. And you all know that. So to help us do some demystifying around the IB program, I'd like to invite up our IB coordinators. And some of you know our IB coordinators very well, but I'd like to welcome Lauren Carpel. Lauren, come on up. Josh Singer. And Will Snyder. Will is our new CP coordinator here. And for those of you that haven't had a chance to meet our new MYP coordinator, she couldn't be here today, but her name is Denise Rodriguez. And Denise is phenomenal and will be with us going forward. So prioritizing our strategic focus in the area of IB teaching and learning also sets us up, I think, in our division perfectly in the way that we begin the evaluation cycle this school year. While the IB won't happen until our IB evaluation doesn't happen again until the spring of 2026, our amazing IB coordinators, Lauren, Denise, Josh, and will support each of our schools, helping us prepare for that success in 2026. So again, please join me in welcoming these folks to the podium. So thank you for being here. I'm going to just say a couple things, and then I'm just going to sit over here and I'm going to kind of watch you guys and take some notes while you're doing your presentation and maybe do a little evaluation of you. But now with all the things IB, the language, I think, can be a little technical, and some may even say, I don't know, is it jargony? Who knows if it's jargony. So in the spirit of the strategic focus this year, I'm going to stick around, and we've got our sign language interpreters here, and hopefully I can maybe listen to what you're saying, and let's see if it's jargony or not. I don't know. Let's see.
All right, thank you, Dr. Noonan. This is not on?
Now it is.
Now it is. Okay, this visit will focus on our development along the 4 domains of the program standards and practices, which emphasize a holistic approach to education within our school context. By aligning our work to the standards of purpose, culture, learning, and environment, we ensure that FCCPS students experience all the benefits of an IB education.
I don't know, Ms. Carpel, that sounded a little bit jargony to me. So I think if I'm demystifying properly, are you just saying that, we're going to celebrate doing the right work and we're going to show that we're not just teaching subjects, but developing the whole student, right? Okay, so developing the whole student, let's keep this simple. Oh, Mr. Singer.
So guys, essentially, the visit will evaluate our success in implementing our IB programs. At the heart of these programs is always the student and their development along the IB learner profile. We know that our goal is to develop inquiring, knowledgeable, and caring young people who help to create a better and more peaceful world through intercultural understanding and respect.
So, basically, we want kids that are curious, smart, and nice, and who won't fight at lunch?
You could say so.
Yeah, okay.
We will highlight the ways in which our IB programs place a strong emphasis on international mindedness and intercultural understanding. We want our students to appreciate diverse perspectives and understand global issues.
Wow, that's a lot. So I think it's we just want our kids to know that there's a world outside of our little city and that people do things differently elsewhere? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. All right.
Yep.
Thanks. Good to know.
Approaches to teaching and learning are essential to an IB education. As we prepare for the visit, we will renew our focus on inquiry-based learning, emphasize critical thinking, collaboration, and communication.
So we're just going to ask a lot of questions, ask them to work together, talk to each other, and not just stare at their phones.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. It's not that complicated.
All students in grades pre-K through 10 participate in the primary years and middle years programs. The focus of these two programs is to build a foundation of conceptual understanding, seeing the links between what they learn in various subjects.
So we just want to make sure they learn a little bit of everything and can handle a big project without any freak out? Oh, okay. So big projects, no freak out. We're good. Okay.
Now, starting in 11th grade, students can choose to pursue one of the career-related certificates, an IB diploma, or the IB diploma courses that interest them. As we all know, these programs focus on rigorous academic standards, fostering a global perspective and encouraging critical thinking. Through the core of both programs, students are exposed to the challenges of post-secondary life.
That sounds really complicated. So,
Very complicated.
like, we're just going to push them and we're going to ask them to think about stuff outside of their bubble and do some serious writing and community service. And we want them to know this stuff, to be able to use it when they get a job and not just sit around quoting textbooks, right?
Okay, I guess it's not that complicated.
Right, it's really not that hard, is it? Okay.
Thank you for your attention. Each of us will be working with you over the next year to ensure we continue to provide the best education for our students and have a successful IB evaluation.
So we're all in this together, and we're better off because of that. And I know that our evaluators are going to come in here and see that we're knocking the socks off it. I think that's what you meant.
Yep.
All right, thank you, IB coordinator. All right, I have a little feedback for you now. Oh no, I'm just kidding. No feedback for you. All right, so you get the idea that we really are trying to, in many ways, demystify this notion of, what is the IB? All right, so two things before we move on to the next part. I see Miss G back there, and I hope you got the shout out for the Greek myths in the presentation. And I'm happy to participate in any play again this year, but I will not be Uranus again. All right? I was good. I was really good, but I don't know about Uranus. All right, and I got to meet Michelle Obama in Miss Bodner's class this year. So thank you, Miss Bodner, wherever you are, for putting on such a great wax museum. All right, so we did this at graduation, and this was somewhat meaningful to graduation, and I want to just quickly do it here. And again, it's in the spirit of sort of understanding who we are and what we do. So I'm going to call out something, and if you are one of these people, I would appreciate it if you would stand and remain standing. So if you're a PYP, a primary years teacher or paraprofessional, would you stand up and please remain standing? You know who you are. If you teach or you're a para in the primary years program, please stand up. All right, stay standing. Now, if you've also volunteered as an exhibition mentor for fifth graders, please stand. All right. Please stand if you're a middle years teacher or para. Middle years teacher and para, stand. Now, please stand up if you helped with an 8th grade community project. If you helped with an 8th grade community project. Stand up if you're a diploma course teacher, if you teach any courses associated with the diploma program. Stand up if you teach any courses with the CP program, career-related program. Stand up if you were born outside of the United States. Stand up if you're a new employee. I'm going to say that last one again. Stand up if you were born outside of the United States. Stand up if you're a new employee. Stand up if you speak more than one language. Stand up if you're a military veteran. Stand up if you attended school in FCCPS and took an IB course. Stand up if you're a parent of a student who attended an FCCPS school and participated in an IB course. Stand up if you've traveled outside of the United States. Stand up if you're part of the FCCPS team. All right. At this point, everyone should be standing. and no one should be missing. But I wanna drive home this point. And the point that I'm trying to drive home is that every single one of us is part of the IB program here in the City of Falls Church. And it takes all of us to fully understand what that program is so that we can communicate effectively about it. As I think everybody here knows, IB isn't a checklist of things that we have to do or needs to be done. It's a way of developing our students within that learner profile. Everybody wants kids that are inquirers. Everyone wants students that, meet that criteria. IB is about nurturing. It's about curiosity and remaining curious and collaboration and developing good people who will do good things just like you. So I just want to say thank you to all of you that are standing, and that's everybody, for your incredible work around the IB program. So I'm going to give you a round of applause and you can sit down. All right, so to help us demystify a little bit about the IB program, we are going to spend some time nurturing those connections. And part of that is the work that you all do with Project Hope, so that students can nurture connections among and between each other, but also among and between you. We haven't had a placemat in a while, so guess what? It's time for a new placemat in Falls Church City Public Schools. And here it is, and let me show it to you. It is it looks a little bit like a game board, like a Chutes and Ladders, if you will. And the idea behind this, and you'll all get a copy of this as you walk out today, and we're also going to send it to all of our parents. But the way that I've been sort of thinking about this or envisioning this for a while is that really it's the roadmap to success in the City of Falls Church schools around the IB program. So when we unpack it just a little bit, and I won't linger too long on this because I know I'm getting pretty close to the over. But this is the PYP portion of our IB program. And so this is the program where last year we were authorized at Jesse Thackeray to be a PYP program. So we now have the full continuum of pre-K through 12, plus we have the career-related program. But this is the PYP program that starts at JTP, comes up through Mount Daniel, and moves all the way to the end of Oak Street. And as part of that, you'll see a couple of bubbles. Like that bubble at the end of 5th grade is the 5th grade exhibition. And that is, in some ways, a passage point, if you will, for our students to pass through that 5th grade exhibition and move on then to the MYP program. And if you're part of the MYP program, you're starting in 6th grade. This goes 6 through 10, which I think everybody here understands, but there are a couple of bubbles along the way there. And you'll see that in 8th grade, we have the 8th grade project, and then we have the 10th grade personal project. And those are two more really important pathways for all of our students to pass through as part of being an International Baccalaureate student in our schools. And then lastly, when they get to high school, they have options, and there are some decision points there. The decision points are whether or not they want to continue on in their IB diploma journey or their career-related program journey, or just continue taking some of the most rigorous coursework that we have to offer. And one of the nice things is that we have kids that do all of the above. The beauty of Meridian is that we offer lots and lots of options to students. And if a student doesn't want to be an IB diploma student or doesn't want to be a career-related student, they still have an opportunity to experience the most rigorous coursework that we have to offer that may not come with a seal or a diploma, but at the end of the day, we know that based on the research and the data that's been shared in US News and World Reports and the State Department of Education, that our kids are college ready, whether they've taken the diploma program or not. And so this idea of putting together sort of this roadmap of success in many ways is to sort of continue to help us find new and different and unique ways of sharing what's going on with our IB diploma program. And not only is it in English, but we also have it in Spanish. So our Spanish families will be able to look at it as well. And depending on our Russian population this year, we might even have it in Russian, because in case you didn't know, that's the second most common second language in the City of Falls Church, is Russian. So So a couple new things for the school year that I want to call your attention to. And this is, in some ways, replacing Parent University. Some of you might remember over the last number of years, we've had Parent University where parents can log in, they can learn about the school system, they can even take courses. But we are moving to something called Parent Hub. And this will hang off of the front page of our website as a button or a block. And parents will be able to click that. It will say Parent Hub. And in that Parent Hub, they'll be able to get to everything that they would ever need as a parent, to include the placemat that I just shared, but also bell schedules, to look at sports schedules, to look at coursework that might be available, resources that are available to families, and the like. And the idea behind this Parent Hub is to make it much more easy for our parents to be able to navigate and find information as we move forward. Because remember, IB and communication are two areas that we really want to focus on this coming year. All right? All right, what do we got? All right, Coffrin, what's the over-under? You got?
67 minutes.
60, where are we at?
113.
Oh, who took the over? You were smart if you took the over. I got a message to get the hook at 10:15. So I'm going to do my best. That's 4 minutes. And I want to just take the last few minutes that I have with you today to reprise something that we talked about several years ago. And that was the story of the sequoia trees. And some of you might, who remembers the story of the sequoias? All right, so I see like 5 hands, so this is good. So I don't know how many of you have been to Sequoia National Park out in California, but it's one of the most beautiful sites. It's a national park, and it's really an important place to go. And these are some of the oldest trees in the world. But what's fascinating about the sequoia trees, by the way, this is a metaphor, right? What's interesting about the sequoia trees is that they do not have a root system that's very deep. In fact, their root systems for these tallest trees in the world are only 6 to 12 feet deep. So imagine with the Santa Ana winds and the fires and everything that happens around these trees, how do they remain standing when they have such shallow roots? And the answer to that question is that the roots grow together and they weave together, and they actually have some way of communicating with each other that when there's danger, they actually tighten and get stronger. And the metaphor that I want to share with you is not a leap here. I think everybody can figure it out. But that is that in some ways, the City of Falls Church schools are the strong, powerful, towering sequoias. You all individually are some of the most incredible people, some of the most incredible teachers I've ever seen or worked with. And what's really unique about the work that you do is that you do it not independently, you do it together. And your roots weave together, and there is not a storm that you can't manage. There's not a fire, metaphorically, that you can't manage. And it's because of the strength of you. And so the one thing I want to leave you with, along with one last piece for today and for this year, is that you are stronger because you work together, because you weave your work among and between those that you work with. And together, and you've heard me say this before, we're better together, right? And so knowing that going forward will be really important. All right? So as I wrap up, I want to just talk about one last thing. And that is, I've been reflecting a little bit about what is the secret sauce. We've often talked about what is the secret sauce of Falls Church City Public Schools. And I think I've come to some understanding of what the secret sauce is after speaking with many of you for a very, very long time. But I also want to just put a pin in this, and that is that one thing I hope to do this year is to do some interviews with each of you, or many of you, maybe not each of you, that would be a lot of interviews, but to really try to systematically understand what is the secret sauce. But here's what I think it is. I think that, and this goes to that sequoia metaphor, I think it's the relational work that you all do with and among each other that make you special. Now, relationships, as I think all of us know, aren't always easy. They're not always easy to maintain, and they're not always easy to repair. And in some cases, there are inequities across relationships and across communities, which make them hard. But here's the one thing I know. The FCCPS secret is that when we have hard relationships, when we have difficult relationships, we dig in and we do not dismiss each other. We confront those complexities that we care about, and we confront those complexities with care, with gentleness, with support, and with kindness. In our relationships, we open our hearts. That's the one thing I know about this place, is that when relationships get hard, we open our hearts wider, not close them up, but wider. We open our minds. We don't make assumptions. We ask questions. We presume positive intention. We think critically, and we remain curious about why we are in this place. And perhaps most importantly, what we do with each other is that we always remain humble. And I want to continue to model that for you. My door will always be open to you, right? We remain humble, and we remain humble without ego. Our incredible results that you've witnessed today, our award-winning achievements, reflect the commitments to each other, to our students, and to our community. And so I say this, and that is that I am proud of the work that you all have done. I'm proud of the work that you will do, and I'm proud of how each of you digs deep with one another and keeps striving. We begin this year in a really wonderful position. We're on top. Yes, we're number one. We have the gold medal, right? We are well positioned to keep solving those wicked problems that challenge us to meet every student by name and by need. So I ask of you this for today. Let's keep opening our hearts. Let's drive this work with love. Let's drive this work with care, because in the end, that is what our secret sauce is. And I know I say this to you all the time, and I'll say it again, and I mean it deeply, and that is that I love every single one of you. You bring joy to me. You bring excitement to me. I wake up every morning, my feet hit the floor, and I want to be here with you side by side. And I want to say thank you for dedicating your lives to the work that you do. You inspire me every single day. So in the words of the boy Brylan that was up on the screen earlier, let's go, right? Let's go. We got this, all right? And so I just want to say thanks for your incredible work. Now, some things that are really important in addition to that, and that's my love note to you for this year. And that is that we have the Kids at Hope training today, and here's where you go. JTP is on the 3rd floor, Oak Street, the middle school or high school library. Henderson is going to go to the Henderson cafeteria. High school is going to stay here. CO transportation maintenance. I think your location has been picked for you. I don't think you get to actually pick where you want to go. Oh, you can? You pick where you want to go. Okay. But most importantly, and I know you've been waiting for this, and I'm going to skip that top part and go right to the middle. Tomorrow is the bacon breakfast. Am I right? I mean, I hope Richard and Cindy, I see Cindy back there, I hope you brought extra bacon, because these folks are going to come hungry tomorrow. But do me a favor, tomorrow from 7:45 to 9 o'clock, there's going to be a small little vendor fair that's going to be here. We're going to have Lytle EAP, Virginia Retirement System will be here, Common Health, Capital Asset Management, Core, Bridge, City of Falls Church Retirement, Parks and Rec, Housing and Human Services, and Mary Riley Stiles. So if you come and you have a chance to connect with them, that'll be great. Please, 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 tomorrow, wear your shirts, have a bacon breakfast, and we'll meet back here at 9 o'clock. I have 10:20. I went over by 5 minutes. That's a new record. So thank you all very much. I appreciate you, and let's have a great year.